some break-ins in my neighborhood, and there's a real suspicious guy. It's Retrieve You Circle. This guy looks like he's up to no good, or he's on drugs or something. It's raining, and he's just walking around looking about.
Okay, and this guy, is he white, black, or Hispanic?
He looks black.
Did you see what he was wearing?
Yeah, a dark hoodie, like a gray hoodie, and either jeans or sweatpants and white tennis shoes. He's here now. He was just staring.
Oh, he's just walking around the area?
At all the houses.
Okay.
And now he's just staring at me. Yeah, now he's coming towards me.
Okay.
He's got his hand in his waistband. Yeah, he's a black male. Something's wrong with him. Yeah. He's coming to check me out. He's got something in his hands. I don't know what his deal is. These assholes, they always get away.
Morning, Mr. Martin. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. I guess to get started, I mean, everybody's been talking, the whole week, including now the president and the Sunday news pundits.
If I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon.
About Trayvon Martin and this particular case in Florida. Everybody knows what's happened so far, but there's been new developments, accusations that, the guy may have been defending himself. Can you just bring us up to speed on what you know from your end and what's the latest developments?
Well, first and foremost, from the outset, George Zimmerman laid out that he was operating in self-defense against Trayvon Martin. The police, they clearly, in their investigation, they believe that, and he was released from custody. But of course, he's had a friend come out and suggest that the two of them got into an altercation. But there are some critical questions that have to be answered here. First and foremost, remember, Trayvon Martin was walking from the store. George Zimmerman was driving an SUV. And so on the 911 call, the 911 operator asked him, was he following this particular person? Zimmerman said yes. This person, the 911 operator, said, we don't need you to do that.
Are you following him? Yeah. Okay, we don't need you to do that.
So the question for Zimmerman is, how did you come to the point to where you got into this altercation, if you will, with Trayvon Martin? How did that happen? And so if Zimmerman had stayed in his car, in his SUV, there is no altercation. And so this is one of the issues that has arisen. And so through the course of the investigation, once it goes to the grand jury and it goes to trial, then we'll certainly have a lot clearer picture of actually what took place.
Well, has the stand your ground rule been applied where accused perpetrator did not have a weapon and still the person who was supposedly standing their ground had a weapon? Has that law?
Well, first of all, the stand your ground law states that if you believe that you are in danger, you're in imminent danger, you have a right to defend yourself, even to the point of using deadly force. And so that's what the law says. Now, we've already heard former Florida Governor Jeb Bush, who actually signed this into law. He has come out and said that does not apply. The stand your ground law does not apply in this case. The attorney for George Zimmerman, he has been out stating that they are not basing their position on the stand your ground law. They are basing their position on self-defense. And so that's what we have heard thus far from them.
Do you think the president's response people were coming out? I mean, people are always coming out and criticizing the president, but when this incident happened, people came out with a lot of accusations. First, that the president hadn't mentioned the incident. Second, they came back with, well, he called Sandra Fluke, but she was called a slut, and he hasn't called the parents of Trayvon Martin. Are you satisfied?
First of all, we have to understand something. And look, I was one of the folks who felt that there should have been a statement earlier. And the reason being is because I saw how this story was building and saw how it was having such a mark on the national landscape. And so when certain stories bubble up and when they become large like they are, then that's what would typically precipitate a response. And so we saw that. We saw it. That it's not a shock, and these things happen all the time. I thought the president was pitch perfect. I thought his tone was appropriate in terms of what he had to say, and it certainly by personalizing it, by speaking on it from the perspective of a father, I thought was vitally important.
I can only imagine what these parents are going through. And when I think about this boy, I think about my own kids. And I think every parent in America should be able to understand why it is absolutely imperative that we investigate every aspect of this, and that everybody pulls together, federal, state, and local, to figure out exactly how this tragedy happened.
Okay, with all the tragedy and death that we deal with here in America and in society, I mean, in Afghanistan, the innocent women and children that were killed in Afghanistan and just in war, what makes the Trayvon Martin case different for you?
Well, first of all, when you talk about look, there is certainly death in this world. I don't know of anybody who would dispute that. That is certainly the case anywhere you go. What I think is the difference in this case is that when you hear a story of a young man who's living in a gated neighborhood who is simply walking from the store to get some snacks, he is identified as suspicious. Once that identification is then made, a judgment is made. And then he is followed, he is stalked, he is accosted, and he is gunned down. The problem is what this says is that this is what happens when you are black while walking. And so does it say that, my goodness, we can't even walk? We can't even get the benefit of the doubt. We always get the doubt. And that, to me, is a fundamental problem in this.
We thank you for your time. We really appreciate your insight on the Trayvon Martin case. I'm a big fan of Washington Watch and everything you do. Mr. Martin, please keep on doing it, representing on TV, on radio, and on Twitter. We appreciate it.
All right, Shirley will do it. Thanks a lot. Thanks a bunch.
These assholes, they always get away.
So you think he's yelling help?
Yes.
All right, what is your phone number?
There's gunshots.